Once upon a time, in the village of Umuago, a small village surrounded by green farmlands, a girl named Ada grew up in a poor but hard-working home. Her parents, Ndubisi and Ugochi, toiled on their farm with Ada's younger brother, Obinna, giving a helping hand in any way he can, ensuring they always had food even if they lacked luxuries. Yet, even as an adolescent, Ada was restless. She refused to help in the fields, spending long hours under the cool shade of a mango tree, while her brother and parents labored from dawn to dusk. Ada was never content. She envied those who lived better lives, wore fine clothes, and ate delicious meals. At school, Ada's mind wandered. While her classmates played and laughed, she could only think of the riches they seemed to possess. Her attention drifted from lessons to dreams of a lavish life that she believed was meant for her. She would often stare at the other children, admiring their fine clothes, polished shoes, and the delicious meals they ate. She barely paid attention in class, lost in thoughts of a lavish life far beyond her reach. Her best friend, Oluchi, was the complete opposite. Though her family was also not rich, Oluchi was content and focused. She often shared her food with Ada and tried to advise her. Ada, focus on your studies. A good education can change your life. What's the point? I don't want to end up like my parents, struggling every day under the sun. Ada would reply. At home, Ada's parents noticed her behavior. They pleaded with her to be patient, to work hard, and to appreciate the little they had, but Ada refused to listen. What kind of life is this one? She would often say. I want something better. Years passed. Ada and her friend completed school, and Ada's bitterness for hard life grew worse. Oluchi got an opportunity to further her education in the city. Ada was not happy, not because she would miss her friend, but because she would no longer enjoy the little gifts and foods Oluchi shared with her. Take care, Ada, Oluchi said warmly. I will visit when I can. Safe journey, Ada muttered, trying to hide her jealousy. They both waved each other as Oluchi entered the bath with her bags. With Oluchi gone, Ada became even more restless. She refused to help on the farm or in the house. Instead, she spends her days dreaming of a life filled with riches. Then an idea formed in her mind. I will use what I have to get what I want. Some of these men will spend on me willingly. So Ada began her flirting adventure. At first, it was just small gifts, new clothes, shoes, and little luxuries. But as time passed, she became known in the village for flirting with different men, accepting their money and gifts in exchange for her company. Her parents were deeply troubled. My daughter, her mother pleaded one evening, this is not the way to build a future. Why not think of marriage? A good man will take care of you. Marriage? Ada laughed mockingly. Why should I tie myself to a poor man and suffer? I don't want to end up like you. These were the last words of Ada to her mother. One day, a respectable young man named Obi visited Ada's parents. He is known as the best yam farmer in the village. He has seen Ada pass by severally and he has interest in her. And so he had come to ask for Ada's hand in marriage. When Ada's consent was sought by her parent concerning the man's proposal, she burst into a heavy laughter and said bluntly, "You are looking for who to come and continue with the poverty-stricken life with you, not me, Ada. Carry your smelly body out of my father's compound now." Ada's parents, shocked, and Obi, feeling humiliated, left and promised himself never to return no matter what. Ada continued on her path for years, ignoring all warnings. Few years later, Oluchi returned to the village. She had completed her education and had secured a little job in the city. She arrived well composed and well dressed. When Ada saw her, her heart burned with envy. "Oluchi," she exclaimed, forcing a smile. "You look different." "Oh, really? Thanks, my friend," Oluchi replied. The chatting and gisting continued for a while. The two friends really had so much to talk about. Ada, desperate for a better life, pleaded with Oluchi to take her to the city, promising that she would take menial jobs, save money and better her education too. Oluchi was happy that Ada had finally decided to work, so she agreed. After much persuasion, Ada's parents allowed her to leave. The villagers wished her well, hoping she would return successful. Then they departed to the city. The journey was far, but interesting. Ada could not stop admiring the big buildings. The bus finally landed after a long ride. In the city, Ada was disappointed. She had imagined a luxurious life, but instead she lived in a small apartment with Oluchi. Oluchi showed her around, gave her all that she needed. Ada was not lacking anything aside luxuries. Oluchi recommended her for a cleaning job where she works, but she got angry at her friend for asking her to be a cleaner. "I didn't come to the city to be a cleaner," she complained. "I want a better life. Ada, as long as the pay is good, there is nothing wrong with honest work," Oluchi encouraged her. "It will also help you to save money for your education, and it's a matter of few years. You will be qualified for a better position," Oluchi concluded. "Keep your sermon, Oluchi," Ada screamed more angrily. Unwilling to offend her friend, Oluchi let her be. Ada remained at the home watching TV, eating and sleeping all day, while Oluchi goes to work from morning and returns late at night. One day, Oluchi revealed that her boss had asked her to be a surrogate mother for him and his wife. The couple couldn't have children and were willing to pay a large sum. "Which one is surrogacy?" Ada asked curiously. After explaining to Ada, she asked, "How much are they offering?" Oluchi mentioned the amount, and Ada's eyes widened. Her heart raced. "That's a lot of money," Ada remarked. Oluchi refused the offer, but Ada kept mounting pressure on her as she saw it as a way of making money without much stress. After several attempts and it was clear that Oluchi would not do according to her bidding, she devised a way. Secretly, she picked Oluchi's phone and got the man's number. Without Oluchi's knowledge, she called him. "Sir, I heard about your offer, and it's like my friend doesn't want to do it. I can do it for you if you don't mind, sir," she said after introducing herself. The man was delighted. He arranged a meeting and Ada agreed to the deal. The doctor assured her that everything would go smoothly, and after signing the contract, she was given half the payment upfront. With the first payment, Ada transformed. She bought designer clothes, bags, shoes, and accessories. She goes for expensive restaurant delicacies and hardly eats food made at home by Oluchi. Oluchi quickly noticed the change and asked, Ada, where is all this money coming from? You are not working. Mind your business, Ada snapped. I have a boyfriend who takes care of me. Oluchi was suspicious, especially when she noticed Ada's growing belly, so she asked again, if you are pregnant, we should visit the village. Your man should marry you properly. No need, Ada said coldly. He is not ready, and please, I'm not pregnant. I'm just putting on weight. Oluchi was not convinced. She pressed on Ada further to inform her parents about her pregnancy. Ada became angry, packed bags and left. Oluchi begged her as she moved out with her bags, but she didn't even look back. To her, that's a perfect excuse for her to separate from Oluchi before she gets to know about her deal with the boss. Don't go. Please, okay, at least tell me where you are going to, Oluchi pleaded. Ada never uttered a word despite all the plea. She rented a luxurious apartment in one of the beautiful estates in the town, dived into full lavish life. Oluchi informed her parents back home, and they asked her to tell her to visit them in the village. She called Ada severally, but Ada refused to tell her where she moved to, even when she delivered her parents' messages to her. Ada was not moved. She kept saying she would visit soon. Ada's parents kept sending messages across through Oluchi, and she kept calling her, begging her to return. But Ada never minded. She insisted that she is fine and she is not ready to visit the village. The calling went on for months. Ada was fed up and started ignoring her calls, and later bought another SIM card, throwing away the old one so no one can reach her again. 9 months later, she gave birth, and as she was moving out of the labor room, the man and the wife gave her the remaining payment. Ada spent even more lavishly. Yes, this is what I want, Ada thought within herself as she admires her lavish apartment, room decors, and jewelries. But soon the money ran out. Desperate to continue in a world of riches without hard work, Ada thought of an easy way to make money. If I make so much money from one surrogacy, then I can be rich without much work. With this conclusion, she hurried to meet the doctor who carried out the operation on her, asking for another surrogacy deal. The doctor warned her, do not make this a habit. Invest your money wisely or in something stable. Ada nodded in agreement to the doctor's words, but deep inside her, nothing is as good as this deal. After all, what is the big deal in carrying pregnancy? People in the village give birth plenty, and no one is paying them for it. Ada thought within herself. She became a serial surrogate. For years, Ada carried surrogate children for wealthy families, making fortune. But once she got the money, she wasted it again, living a luxurious life without working. She became a regular customer for most of the expensive boutiques and restaurants. She looked ravish. But one fateful day, Ada went for another deal, and she received the shock of her life. Ada, your womb is too fragile. You can no longer carry a child, the doctor said. Ada's mouth opened in disbelief, fear lingering through her eyes. Doctor, I don't believe you. If you don't want to book me out for a deal again, just say it straight. No need to lie. Ada said, storming out of the doctor's room. Devastated by the news, she visited specialist hospitals, spending fortune with the hope of getting her womb back in shape again, but to no avail. Out of desperation, Ada also visited a herbalist. Take these concoctions. Drink them as I instructed. Getting home, Ada opened the concoctions and started drinking them one after the other. They were bitter and smelly. She held her nose tightly, forcing in the concoctions. She drank it for several days and weeks, then went back to the hospital for another check, but the result was even more devastating. I have spent all my money, but why can't I get a cure? Ada wailed in her room. Left with no money, she began selling off the designer bags and shoes, her piece of jewelry, and clothes. She raised a good amount of money from the sales. This should be enough to open a big boutique in this city, Ada thought within herself and sat down to make plans for her new idea. Suddenly, a knock came through the door and a voice accompanied it. Oops, it's the landlord. Quickly, she covered the money, pushing some into her cloak. No, this cannot do. I need to pack it somewhere. With this, she ran to get something to pack the money in. But before she could realize, the old man walked in, his eyes beaming with anger and rage. Where have you been hiding all these years? You don't stay at home. Your phones cannot be reached. Do you think I run a charity organization? Or you think your father owned this estate? Pay up your 5-year rent debt now, or I called my lawyer to arrange you before the court. I can't use this money to pay this rent. It won't even be enough. I want to use it for business, or else I will be doomed. She pleaded with the landlord, but the landlord would not even listen to her. Young woman, go in and bring my money, the old man shouted, interrupting Ada's words. The man began packing the money one after the other, and in no time he packed everything, counted them. This is not up to what you owe me, but at least it will cover up for 4 years' debt and the utility fees. I give you 2 weeks to produce the remaining 1-year debt, or prepare to rot in jail. You gold digger. The old man fired at Ada and left with the money. Ada's heart was broken. She wept uncontrollably, no one to comfort her. In sorrow, she remembered her friend Oluchi, who brought her to the city. Grabbing her phone, she called Oluchi. The number you have dialed is out of coverage area. Please try again later. That's the voice she heard on the line. Ada dialed for 2 days and she kept getting the same response. She then decided to go check on her where they had all stayed together. Getting to the old small house, Ada met the landlord. Oluchi, your friend, got married not long after you left. She and her husband stayed in that house opposite us. After her second child, that's about 7 years ago, they left the country, the landlord briefed Ada. Days passed. Hunger set in. No friend to talk to, no job, no money to do any business. Loneliness and regret took over. Grace period given by the landlord drew closer. Still no way out. Left with no option, Ada packed the few things she can and vacated the estate. Wandering on the street for days, she sought for help, but there was none. Her only solace was a small uncompleted apartment in the slum. She moved into it. Day and night, she ate the only food she can afford, bread and water. Sitting down in the lonely room and staring at the cracked walls, she remembered her parents and her brother. The thought of going back to them flashed through her mind. How are you going to face them? Would they even recognize you? Another thought snapped in. No, I can't. She dismissed the idea. Days passed. Night came and gone. Ada's situation got worse. Her clothes faded, her face darkened, her body weakened, her skin wrinkled, her beauty faded away like a rushing wind. She couldn't hold her ego anymore. She wants to go home. At least I will get food from the farm, she said to herself. With her bag, she took off, her heart panting as the car moves closer and closer. Finally, the bus stopped, and like a prodigal son, Ada walked into her parents' compound. Ada, her brother burst into tears and called out when he saw her. You still remember this place? He interrogated, looking furious. I am deeply sorry, Ada replied, weeping. Where is Mama? Where is Papa? She asked. Obina's face darkened. They are gone, Ada. Mama fell sick, but there was no money to take her to the hospital. Her heart could not bear the news of your lavish lifestyle and your constant pregnancies in the city. Finally, she gave up. Papa couldn't bear the grief and passed soon after. If only you had come home, Ada. Ada collapsed to the ground, wailing. She remembered how her mother had sent messages through Oluji repeatedly, but she had ignored her plea. She had been too busy chasing a foolish dream. She stayed with her brother in their parent compound for a while, but Obina's wife, Ebere, soon became uncomfortable with Ada's presence and would pick a quarrel with her at every little opportunity. The women in the village seemed to give their backing to Ebere. Most of them are her own classmates who are fully aware of how she had lived her life in the city. This is my husband's house. A woman stayed in her husband's house. Go to yours. I need some privacy. Obina's wife blasted at Ada. Ada had nowhere to go. She searched for old friends, but they were all married with children. The shame became too much. She packed her bags and once again walked through the path with no clear destination. Finally, she got an abandoned hut in the neighboring village, where she survived on bread and water as usual. She grew older, hoping a miracle would happen to her one day, but there was none. She thought of how she had wasted all her wealth, ignored good advice, and abandoned her family as she sat in the old dark room. She remembered the life she had once lived. She thought about the men she had ignored in the village and in the city, the ones she missed while carrying pregnancies in the city, money she had wasted, and families she had neglected. She realized she had been given so many chances to work hard, to marry a good man, to make good money, but she had thrown them all away. Now, here she is, grown, no husband, no child, though she had carried several children in her womb, no family, no home. She wished she had taken a different path in her early years. Please, if you find this story educative, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.